Hi, and welcome back to the channel. We are continuing The Witcher. This is episode 6, titled Rare Species. And we do kind of want to get into something before we start the episode here. Normally we just jump straight into it, and it has something to do with our fondness of this world in general, if you want to start out.
Well, from the title sequence of that little snippet on Netflix that describes the episode's plot, I can see that this is my favorite short story from Sword of Destiny.
Yes.
And it's my absolute favorite of all the Witcher things. So of course I cannot help but compare this a lot. Especially if they change some of the things that I really like, or really, because this is my favorite book series. Like, seriously, this is my favorite book series. So of course I cannot help but compare stuff. It doesn't mean that I am completely unaware about that some things cannot be adapted, and there's like a bigger storyline going on, and that there's some choices behind everything we see, and I completely understand that. I'm just highlighting the things where I'm a little bit sad that they either didn't include it or completely changed it from the books, possibly because it's something that meant a lot to me or to my understanding, or that added to my fondness of this whole universe.
Yes. So if we do nitpick, or if we're critical about certain aspects of this story or the other episodes, it's only because it's something that we really love or something we would like to see. And as you said, if they don't include it or straight up change it, it kind of saddens us a little bit, but it's not because we're not enjoying this series at all. We really are. We think they're doing a really good job so far, and especially Henry Cavill as Geralt. He's really growing on us, and the other actors and actresses as well. So definitely not because we're not enjoying this. We really, really are. With that out of the way, are you ready to jump into this one? Yes. Alrighty. And as always, you can check out our Patreon page, where you can watch our full-length reactions to The Witcher and all the other shows that we are watching. The link is down in the description below. And here we go. Yeah, we of course just listened to the song during the end credits there.
Apparently he ended up writing it, finishing it.
Yeah. He finished his story, so he got what he wanted from the others, and yeah. But yeah, that was Bounds of Reason, or Rare Species, as the story is called in the Netflix series. But damn, I enjoyed it. It was like, just as I really enjoyed the story first when I read it, I think this was a good adaptation, sprinkled with, or kind of married with how they are telling the rest of the story in this season. And I can definitely see why they made some of the choices they did, focusing a lot on Geralt and Yen, because we just had the episode where they met each other and the whole thing with the Djinn, and they're picking up on that straight away here. And then we also got, of course, the continuation of Ciri's story, with little snippets here and there. Which, you want to start with that one then? Or
we can start with that.
Yeah. It was only because that whole thing with the Doppler and Mouse Sack, that got resolved, or that something happened there like way quicker than I anticipated, or he like revealed himself to be not the real Mouse Sack way quicker than anticipated. But he was also very bad at hiding it. So
yeah, and she
picked up on it.
Yeah, and
thankfully,
of course, because Dara was quick-witted, and I think the overall theme here might have been, I don't know, the overall feeling that we left off with is that everybody lost someone, and with Ciri, basically what Dara ended up saying before he left was your shit magnet, and I don't want to be caught up in your
in your shit anymore.
Yeah. And this might be a spoiler, but Siri is a shit magnet, literally. It's like death and destruction everywhere she goes. But of course, she doesn't intend to.
No.
Yeah. But I think it was a nice little
hint at what's to come, maybe.
Yeah,
and
a little
with
foreshadowing.
Dara.
Yeah, and so we kind of got him written into the story, and now he's kind of been being written out again.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see him again at some point. I don't know. With
Perhaps.
his character. But yeah, as you just mentioned, like the overall, if there's something that connects these two stories in this particular episode, it is the fact that at the end, Ciri is alone and Geralt is alone again. And the people they were with have kind of been scared off in a sense because of what they did or what they said. Yeah. And Geralt really lost it there at the end. Holy shit. I get his frustration because
absolutely, it's not about that.
Yeah. Always fighting fucking destiny and anything, like something he really likes, like Yen, and he doesn't want to lose her, and he's doing his best, and he did his best to save her in the previous episode, but because of what he did with the Jinn and the Wish, she left him.
Believe that it's real.
Which is understandable again.
Once again, we don't really know exactly what he wished for.
No, not explicitly like what he said. No.
And let's say if it's this binding thing that they were bound to each other, and he just wished for them to be bound, then that means that doesn't mean love, right? And I think she might believe that that was what it's all was about. But
and she can't trust her feelings because they might not be her own and might not be genuine. Yeah.
And if you play the Witcher 3 games I think it's the Blood and Wine expansion.
No, it's a part of the.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a side quest. When you're in Skellige, I think it's called.
Let's just spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't played the game or doesn't want to know anything about it. But they do address it.
Yeah. Major spoiler alert. Once you get defeat the Jinn that you are fighting, you have the last wish to
undo.
Yeah, and then you choose to undo the whole binding thing, the third wish, and there's two options afterwards. I think it is. You can either choose that you didn't feel anything after the bond was lifted, or after the wish was lifted.
Yeah.
Or you can choose that you still feel something. And of course, that's up to the person how you want to interpret their relationship and everything.
Yeah, the person who's playing it, because,
Yeah, but at least they address it, right? That maybe it's real, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
And then you can choose by yourself, and I think that's very...
That's a cool way to go about it or handle that particular question. But we did get the 3 jackdaws, Borg 3 jackdaws, and his Saracanians. Yes.
That's how I like to call him.
Yeah. I just it's difficult to say, and I haven't. Yeah, at least, but he is the most beautiful. He's a dragon, and he's a golden dragon. So there were
the rarest.
The rarest of the rarest, and there were definitely hints throughout this episode that he was more than he let on, and his whole comment about the species are dying and all that, where we were like, Geralt, catch on.
He even used the words our species.
Yeah, our species. Yeah. So it's like, why did he say that?
Yeah, and of course there's also this, I think they ask a lot about the Saracanian women, and I don't think they explained it, but the Saracanian women are actually, or the Saracanians in general, they are worshipping dragons. And I don't think they mention it in this one, but it's described, I think it's described in the short stories at least.
Mm-hmm.
that these Circadian women, and they don't understand why they're there, and suddenly it all makes sense when they find out that three jackdaws is actually Villentretten myth, and he's a dragon, he's a golden dragon, and he's the most beautiful. And of course, if you're worshipping dragons and you find the rarest of them all,
A gold freaking dragon.
of course you would like to follow that.
Yeah,
So-
and he's wise and good-hearted, and it seems like a good person. That's a good dragon. He's a good dragon.
He's a good personality.
Yeah. That I do just have like one thing there with the dragons and just the creature effects overall. I do hope they get more of a budget or something in the next season. It's not that it looked like straight up bad or anything, but you can kind of see that it's CGI and it's not the prettiest, but it doesn't mess with the story, so I'm fine with it. It was just
And I really like the way that they actually kind of gave it a bit away with his. He had like a vest.
Yeah, the
in
dragon
this,
he was wearing. Yeah.
In this weird brownish golden.
Yeah, kind of scales. Yeah.
And in the books, I think he was described as, in overall terms, he was kind of golden. I don't know how to explain it, but he was kind of. I don't know. I don't know why, but I just had this feeling that he was dressed in like warm, golden, sandy tones.
Yeah, and he pretty much was.
So he was basically almost
how you imagined him.
Almost. I kind of imagined a different face, but he was very gentle, and I loved the way that he was so optimistic and positive and humorous even. And I think he was, if I remember correctly, that's why he's one of my favorite characters, and that's also what went down in the story. They did rewrite a couple of things and small details, of course, and that's absolutely fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Of course, it just makes for better pacing, maybe in this media. Like killing some of the characters or some of the hunting crew off a little bit early and small stuff like that. But overall, it was just really enjoyed this adaptation. And,
but I remember the ending being more bright and
more grand or
bright.
No, okay, in a sense that it was more okay.
There was really a lesson but like a good lesson, not in a now you know what you're missing kind of thing. And
they tied it way more to the overall story and what like the through line there with Yen and Geralt and Ciri. So once again, totally get why they did that, and it makes so much sense for the series. So good job on that. Yeah.
It's
sad
when you
really love something.
People you care about, when you see them sad and they're going out on a sad note.
Oh yeah, like that. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just I just felt bad for them.
Yeah. Totally.
Once again, it was kind of a Debbie Downer thing from the short stories, but of course I understand, appreciate what they're doing. I'm just saying that it made me feel a little bit bad inside. I was crying, almost crying through the whole last sequence.
Yeah. And let me just reiterate: it's not because you didn't like it that you were sad or crying. It was because the choice that they made to, instead of a lighthearted ending, it was a sad ending, because Geralt kind of ended up, alone and yelling at poor Jaskier, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry, and I'll just get some of the story." And it's like trying. Seeing him sad, that's just that hurts. So that's what we mean by that. But yeah.
And we got introduced to another character from the books called I don't know exactly how to say it, but Yarpin.
Oh yeah, Yarpin, yeah.
And he's his
band of dwarfs.
Yeah, and I think they also did a very good job with casting him.
Oh yes.
Because he's so funny, and I even love that it gave him kind of an special accent, special British. I cannot exactly whether it's Scottish or Irish, but
it's a typical accent, or you hear it a lot with when dwarves are being like portrayed in any fantasy story. They usually get like some sort of a Scottish accent in that regard. Not always, but you do see it.
Pippin had a very no distinguishable.
Oh yeah, well, he was a hobbit, so that's not really the same.
No, but maybe you might be confusing things.
No. I'm not talking about Lord of the Rings here. I'm talking about like other stuff that I've seen and like games that I've played. But either way, they did a really good job on the casting there with Yarpin and then everybody else in this episode. I think even the honorable knight, who we didn't see a lot of, but when he was there, you definitely got the sense that this was an honorable fool. And Yennefer just had him like wrapped around her pinky.
Yeah.
But he went out kind of like, oh yeah, that was not a good way to go out.
No,
and
but
Yaskia pointed that out as well. Like, who the fuck slits a man's throat when he's relieving himself? That's not okay. That's not okay.
I like how they actually put a little bit of age on Yaskia. Yennefer commented that he's got crow's feet now, and you could also see it a little bit in that they have added some textures or something to his face, so he looks a little bit older, but he still kind of looks like a 12-year-old. So
yeah, he's youthful looking, but he is looking a little bit older, and it makes sense because it has been a while. It has been years,
couple of decades,
that we've been
maybe
following them so far.
Yeah,
and they're, as it sounds like from what they were talking about with Nilfgaard and all that, they are getting closer to Ciri's timeline.
And the usurper has taken the throne, and he's marching northwards.
Yeah, hasn't taken Sintra yet or anything.
No, but he's definitely on his way.
Yeah.
And
so we're getting real close. So and there's only 2 episodes left, 7 and 8. I'm guessing that if it doesn't happen in the next episode, it's definitely gonna happen in the 8th episode, the last one of the season, that we're gonna get the storylines, converging, or at least with Geralt and Ciri, that they're gonna meet up, and then from the next season on, it's probably gonna be a little bit different.
Perhaps, yeah.
Storytelling wise, I think. Don't know yet. We still, as we just said, we still have 2 episodes left to go of this season. So,
yeah. One thing I want to mention, and I said this before, but I think this episode just made it even more clear for me. I do not like what they have done to Kahir. And I know some people say, it's adding depth to his character, and there's probably a reason why they have changed it so much. But it's just that some characters you like because they're flawed, and some characters you like because they're good people, and some people you like to hate or love to hate. And it's just, I really like Kahir, and I really liked him. I mean, it's very hard to say a favorite characters because basically all of them are my favorites. But especially Kahir, he was something special to me. And I don't know. So far, I don't like that he's just threw a temper tantrum.
Yes.
And just kill the whole
fucking inn.
It's not his character. At least it's not his character from the books.
No.
Because yes, he is a little bit misguided, and he wants to do well.
But he's not necessarily
major spoiler
evil.
alert, perhaps. But in the books, he is slightly misguided, yes, but he's a very good person. And, he's real good. And I'm just...
Okay, if he's like the personification of goodness in the books, then I can definitely see if there's a big difference here, because he seems like a horrible person in the show.
Yeah.
Straight up evil, he's he enjoys it almost.
He's one of the good, the better people, I think. And it's very hard because all of the characters can be, very three-dimensional in their own kind of way, because they all have some sort of depth, and we learn all the people's about people's past, but only like small chunks. And as I said, even though he's misguided and everybody does bad stuff, right? But he's one of the people, at least in the books and from my interpretation of his character, that is to the good side, and a lot of the other people are not necessarily. He's in the good spectrum, I would say. If you have to divide people into good or bad, I think he would pull in that one.
So you're saying like if it was like a spectrum, like this is bad and this is good, like, and you can be all over that spectrum. So but he's more to the good side.
In the good half, yeah.
Okay. That is definitely.
So that's why I'm so sad what they've done to him.
Different than what they've portrayed here, because I don't see any goodness. Like a little bit from the scene at first where we thought it was Ciri, but then it turned out it was the Doppler. Like the way he was treating her was kind of nice actually, and then he just fucking lost it afterwards. So yeah, I haven't gotten that sense of like there's any good in him really in the series so far. But they might change it up at some point. It just seems like if they want to go in the direction that they're apparently going with him in the books, then it might be hard to come back from slaughtering a whole room full of people just because you were angry.
Cutting off the ears of people when you slaughter them and all that.
Anywho, but we know they changed him for a reason, and we're not saying it's a bad or stupid decision or anything, because how would we know? We haven't seen the whole thing yet. But it's definitely different from his character in the books.
Yes.
So, and on that note, I think that was pretty much it. Do you have another thing you want to add?
Shout out. Amazing cinematography, and the score to this episode in particular, I was having major chills throughout the... Yeah, and I just wanted to point it out because it was spot on.
That was really fucking good, yes. I really enjoyed it as well. But that's gonna do it for this reaction and review of The Witcher Season 1, Episode 6, Rare Species. Really enjoying it, and we cannot wait to watch the final 2 episodes of the season. But then there's nothing else to say, but thank you guys so much for watching as always, and we will see you very soon. Bye!
Bye!